Welcome to Invest Insights. I'm Abby Maloney. I'm joined today by Vincent Yarina, the Principal and Vice President of LANGAN. Vincent, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Abby. Nice to be here.
When we spoke for our Invest Greater Fort Lauderdale report, you remarked that Broward's talent pool is limited and hiring is definitely a challenge as it relates to the engineering sector. From your perspective, what needs to change at an academic level and at an industry level to help resolve this issue?
Well, I think first, academically, I think what's missing with a lot of candidates that we see is, and a lot of newer employees, is the soft skills. You know, for being in engineering consulting, you need to be able to communicate very effectively and very well. You need to be able to write very well. And a lot of the universities, I don't think are teaching writing and communications like they had been previously. So we definitely see a deficit in candidates and newer employees. I think at the industry level, our profession needs to do a better job teaching fundamentals to younger staff level, such that they truly understand what they're doing. And I think the incoming professionals also need to be a little bit more patient and willing to learn those fundamentals, because that's how we build to become very good engineering consultants, by having that good fundamental base.
You manage LANGAN's environmental consulting group in Florida. And when we met you for Invest, we spoke at length about the issues of aging infrastructure in Broward County and the challenges of forever chemicals in the environment. Do you believe there is enough emphasis being placed in solving these issues from both the public and private side? And if not, what transformations need to happen in regards to local government and private sector's mindset as it pertains to addressing these issues?
Two are, I would say, are separate issues. One, the infrastructure and aging infrastructure deals with how water is distributed, how wastewater is managed, and how we manage sea level rise. So those are larger, broader, very kind of universal themes that definitely need to be addressed more by the public sector than necessarily by the private sector, as far as funding grant money for infrastructure improvements, distribution of pump stations for wastewater, and again, ways to lower sea level, groundwater and sea level rise. With regard to the forever chemicals, that is more of a recent trend in our industry, and that deals more with groundwater contamination, not necessarily infrastructure. And with these forever chemicals, these are new chemicals that, again, they don't break down readily in the environment, and they are highly toxic, and they're toxic at very low levels. So right now, the state of Florida and federally are grappling with how are we going to regulate these chemicals, and are we going to require people that have these chemicals on their property to be remediated. And that's where the private sector comes in, because the private sector will be able to come up with technologies and be able to remediate these chemicals and clean up the groundwater.
Over the last year, how has technology permanently transformed and changed the engineering business? And how will these transformations ultimately benefit the businesses and individuals that you work with?
I think technology, through being able to work remotely, I think not only for engineering consulting, I think for professional services in general, I think people have realized you can be productive by not having to sit at your desk and be in an office. I think using remote networks, having the capabilities to be, from an engineering perspective, to be able, we work in very large plans and documents, and being able to use those and be able to manipulate those across your network, I think has been a huge boom for us. And I think it's transformed it, permanently. I think the days of folks coming to the office 9 to 5, 5 days a week, I think are gone. I think people have realized now that, again, you can be just as productive, if not if not even more productive than we were before, by having these various computer technologies to be able to do what we need to do. And I think that it clearly benefits us from a production standpoint. It also has its negatives in the sense that now you are even, the trend was to become very linked to our clients. Now we are inexplicably linked to our clients. They can reach us anytime, and the expectations certainly increase with that. So
this year was an incredibly transformative year, 2020. And I'm asking all the leaders that I meet with, not only about their transformation on the professional side, but also on the private side. How have you personally transformed?
Personally, I think I've had to be a lot more adaptable than I was. I'm pretty rigid when it comes to my schedule and my routines. I think been good for me in the sense that I've gotten to spend a lot more time with my family at home during the day, not necessarily, just at 9 o'clock when I get home from work for a little bit of time. So I think that's personally been good for me, and I think it's transformed me. And I think again, it's forced us to, because you're not necessarily working, right next to somebody every day. It's forced us to reach out and be closer to be closer to the ones that we work with. And again, I'm used to, I guess you sometimes you take, I don't say take advantage of, but when something's always there, you don't take advantage of it as much as you should. And then you really you realize what you've lost when it's not there. So it's forced me to kind of reach out to our employees and definitely be more interactive with them, not necessarily professionally, but also more personally as well.
Wonderful. Well, thank you again. That was Vincent Yarina, the Principal and Vice President of LANGAN. My name is Abby Malone, and you've been watching Invest Insights. Thank you so much, Vincent.
Thank you, Abby.
Hey everyone, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so that you can stay up to date on the latest business trends from our knowledgeable experts. Be sure to check out the description below for more information on the segment you just watched. Thanks for tuning in.